Hello and welcome to the Door to Door YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing episode 4 of What's Up with That Door, our series on going over just the different types of doors from different manufacturers, just so you can use it as a reference when you're shopping for your door, just to compare and see what might work for your home. So without any further ado, let's get into episode 4 of What's Up with That Door, the Clopay Coachman.
What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? Door. What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? Door.
Now, you may remember Clopay from our episode 2 where we went over the modern steel, their flush, kind of modern looking steel garage door. So this is their overlay. And Clopay Coachman, I like to say they kind of, maybe not invented it, but they're the original, the OG overlay door, the Clopay Coachman. So basically what an overlay door is, it's a flush door, and then they add some vinyl composite materials to the face of it, or the older style doors, they'd actually add wood to the face of it to kind of overlay the steel and add the design. So it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more going on than just stamping it into the steel. Like I said, Clopay's been around a long time. Here's a brief history about Clopay.
Clopay has been around for over 120 years. Starting in 1859, the history begins with Bernard Seinsheimer Corporation, a paper wholesaler in Cincinnati, Ohio. In 1930, they manufactured blackout window shades during the war and changed their name to Clopay, an acronym for cloth and paper. In 1964, Clopay entered the garage door business with the purchase of Baker Aldor Jones of Hialeah, Florida. In 1969, Clopay acquired Francis Products of Russia, Ohio. The Russia factory became the primary manufacturing location. In the 70s, Clopay organized into 3 different branches, into plastic products, window fashions, and the garage door business. In the 1980s, the first steel doors were beginning to be produced. Clopay led the market in conversion from wood to steel garage doors. In 1983, they pioneered the toggle lock technology to assemble steel doors and one of the first to use pre-painted steel. In 1986, Instrument Systems of New York acquired Clopay Corporation. In the 1990s, starting in 1995, Clopay's parent company, Instrument Systems Corporation, changed their name to Griffin Corporation, and Clopay is now recognized as the fastest-growing garage door brand. In 1996, Clopay was awarded Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval, the first and only in the garage door industry. And in 1997, Clopay acquired Holmes Halley Industries, including Arizona Door Systems of Tempe, Arizona, and Holmes Door of Auburn, Washington, and Holmes Halley Hardware. Clopay, now the largest manufacturer of residential garage doors in North America. In the 2000s, they launched their line of polyurethane foam-injected doors, rounding out their line to some of the more popular products that you see today. Clopay is currently the largest overhead door manufacturer in North America.
Okay, and again, Clopay, like I said, is the original, in my opinion, OG overlay door. So like I said, steel flush door with some overlays. These doors would kind of fall into the carriage house style, but I would also might consider maybe more of a craftsman look. They do have some lines with the some vertical lines in it, as well as the cross bucks and some of your standard barn-looking type designs. There's a ton of different designs. I want to say there's almost like 20 or 30 different door designs and almost as many different glass options to pick from. So you can really kind of pick and choose and really make this door your own to fit the needs of your home, depending on what you're going for. Real popular, at least in this area, we've been seeing is the board and batten style of siding, which lends itself well to some of the Coachman designs. So you've been seeing a lot of these doors getting put on a lot of new construction homes in the area. So one thing particular about this door is the way it's made. It's only available in lighter colors. Clopay does offer the Canyon Ridge if you're looking for some of those darker colors, and we do have a previous video on that prior to the What's Up With That Door series. I'll probably make some updates to it at some point. But for the most part, you can check it out and get an update on the Canyon Ridge. But the Coachman is going to be a little more affordable because, like I said, it's only available in the lighter colors. So the big thing with the Coachman when you're picking out a garage door is to remember that the Coachman only comes in lighter colors. Your whites, your almonds, they have like a couple tans, and I believe the darkest they will offer that color in is like a sand tone color. They can be painted, but the manufacturer, Clopay, does require that they are painted with a paint that has a light reflective value of 38 or better. Reason being is these doors, especially in like southern exposure, if they get hit with sun all day, the overlays, the adhesives that they use to adhere the overlays to the steel can become weak and damage the door. Also, we've seen people who've painted these doors real dark colors. As soon as they hit the sun, they'll absorb all the heat from the sun and start to warp the overlay pieces and cause issues with the doors. So Clopay, in order to maintain their warranty, again says a light reflective value of 38 or better if you do decide to paint it. If the lighter color is not what you're going for, they do offer the Clopay Canyon Ridge line. But sticking with the Coachman, again, it's an overlay door. And one thing nice about the Coachman, and when you get into these overlay doors, this is where you're going to start seeing a more built-in window. So you're actually going to see, curved windows if it's an arch. You're going to see more defined built-in grills rather than just a snap-in plastic insert. So that is one of the things you are going to get in these nicer overlay doors. That being said, this is a little bit pricier than if you were going with just a standard steel door or any of those, just because, again, it's a steel door and then they add the overlays on top of it. So just that extra bit of labor in the manufacturing process does add a little bit. They're generally made to order. They actually set these up and cut them door specific, so they all line up and match properly when we go to install them. So they're really a sharp looking door, and your first kind of entry level into the higher end doors versus just your standard raised panel and stamped steel carriage house doors. Like I said, countless design options with these. I'll definitely flash a little bit by on the screen so you can see the array of designs and choices you do have with this line of door to really kind of mix and match and really make it go with exactly what you're trying to do. If you're trying to match a front door or match some window grid styles, they should be able to do what you're looking for. Apart from the different design styles, they do have, in this door, they do have 3 different layers of insulation. They offer a standard 1 3/8 with your overlay, really making it a 2-inch door, and then 2 different 2-inch options, 2-inch with polystyrene and a 2-inch polyurethane in the CGU model, which is probably the most popular one. If R value is not important, you could save a couple dollars with the lower CD model. If you're looking for a high R value, then the CGU with the 2-inch spray foam, I believe, gives an R value of 18.4 and is available with insulated glass options. If you're looking to get a better R value for heating the garage, or if you have bedrooms or commonly used living space above it, you're trying to keep a little bit warmer, then the CGU is the way to go. But the CD is more than capable if it's just going to be your standard garage as most people use them. Like I said earlier, very similar to the Canyon Ridge from them. It's just this is kind of their earlier model with the lighter colors, and then later they developed different materials that, like I said, is a little bit more pricey, but to do those darker colors. So if you want white, the Coachman's the way to go to save a little bit over the Canyon Ridge. And then from there is also to the Grand Harbor. So that is the pan door version. So as a lot of the doors I've mentioned earlier in the previous episodes do have a hollow or a vinyl back option. So with the Grand Harbor, you can get one of those pan door. Big thing with these doors, it's going to save you a lot of money. So if you really want that look, but the Coachman's just out of your budget, you could look at the Grand Harbor. It's definitely a budget option that I like to tell people. So it definitely doesn't seam up, and it's definitely not as well built as the Coachman's. It is designed to be a budget option for an overlay door if you really want that overlay door look, but Coachman's just a little bit out of your price range. So there is always that Grand Harbor option for you if that's the look you have your heart set on. But again, that's pretty much it. If you've been following this series, you notice a lot of these doors have a lot of the same different options. It's really just kind of the look and then the way it's built. And that's going to kind of dictate where it kind of lays, whether it's more on the more affordable entry-level side, or you're going to be on the more high-end custom side, or where the store kind of falls in the middle of kind of mid-range as far as price, maybe on the lower end compared to, like I said, the Canyon Ridge or some more custom options that are available for your garage door. But like I said, this Canyon Ridge Coachman, it's a classic model. They've had this out for years. You do see them a lot. It's probably the door you see if you are looking for something other than just your basic raised panel or stamped steel door. Most people start looking at these overlays when they start looking at just something a little bit nicer than your entry level. And the Clopay Coachman, like I said again, it's a really good option. Clopay is a great company that puts out a good product, so we definitely recommend that door if the look is what you're going for. And yeah, so that's basically it. So again, this is Alan with Door-to-Door Garage Doors, where we want you to love your garage door. And if you're in the North Jersey area and need help with your garage door, please give us a call. We'd love to help you out. Till then, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.